So the next MCU movie that's coming out is The Marvel. And this is a movie that many fans are on the fence about. Now, the movie did get delayed 7 months. We did hear that there were some issues behind the scenes, but recently the movie had a test screening. So you may have seen people talking about the post-credit scenes for the film. And in this video, I want to talk about the changes to the Marvels that Kevin Feige made. I want to talk about these two post-credit scenes because altogether, this movie might actually end up being kind of fun, which is maybe the best some of us can hope for. Smash a freaking like on this video and let's begin. Okay, so let's get into this discussion of the plot leaks and the changes with regards to the Marvels. And the place I want to start with is the old plot leaks. Now, I'm not going to go beat by beat. I'm not going to spoil every single thing that is in the movie, but I do need to spoil some of the general gist of the plot to not only confirm that this is still mostly what the plot is, but to be able to talk about the new changes in the post-credit scenes. So you've seen it in all of the trailers. Something is going on with Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, and Kamala Khan. They are all switching places around the galaxy, and this all seemingly being done because of a way their powers are entangled, but also because of the bangle that Miss Marvel uses. This is set up in the post-credit scene of the Miss Marvel show, where they actually have Carol Danvers teleport to Earth and replace Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan just arrives out in space. And in the first trailer for the Marvels, we can see that Monica Rambeau is out in a spacesuit doing a mission for Nick Fury, investigating some anomaly in space. That's going to be really important. We'll talk about that in a second. But then all of a sudden, like, Kamala Khan shifts into that suit. And so that's obviously a big part of the movie. They're going to try to untangle it, but there's a second bangle that is going to be used by the main villain of the movie. And in the original plot leak, that villain and messing with the bangle is actually going to cause an incursion. That's obviously pretty freaking dope, as the incursions are something we haven't actually seen go down in the MCU yet, but they're of course heavily referenced in Multiverse of Madness, and we see the aftermath of one in that movie when there's that Doctor Strange where the reality is just all torn apart. And of course, you know that incursions were a massive part of building up towards the most recent Secret Wars in Marvel Comics. And in this original version of the movie, Monica Rambeau uses her powers to stop the incursion trapped in a different universe. Okay, now that you've got that in mind, let's talk about the changes to the movie. And first of all, let's talk about something they didn't change, and a lot of us were worried that they were going to change, and that's the incursion. The incursion's still in the movie. Monica gets trapped in the other universe. That's all still in the film. Thank God. Because I was a little bit worried with them delaying Secret Wars and pushing off multiverse stuff and, you know, Jonathan Majors Kang situation. I just thought maybe they were going to remove a lot of the connections to a huge multiversal plan from the Marvels. And that's a huge bummer because that, for me, is like my main draw for going to the film. I like all of these characters. Monica's my favorite out of the three, but I'm really not in it to be cheering and watching these characters. Sorry, guys. Like, I'm more of a Hulk, Wolverine, Captain America kind of guy. You know what I mean? And so thank God the incursions are still in the movie. That is huge. Now, next up, there is a new scene in the movie where apparently Valkyrie's gonna pop up and take a bunch of Skrulls to New Asgard. This likely has something to do with like the Skrulls being displaced by the villain in the movie. I'm not even 100% sure, but I know people like Valkyrie. Valkyrie's showing up. She's taking Skrulls back to Earth, which, you know, considering what's going on with Secret Invasion, maybe not the best move. We'll see. And then the next big change to the movie is that this last screening actually had the post-credit scenes. So let's talk about the different post-credit scenes. We'll talk about the first one, which is not as cool, even though some of you might like it. And this was spoiled on Reddit, but then Can We Get Some Toast came forward to confirm it. And so here's what they said in a post. In the Marvels, Nick Fury has a tablet for keeping tabs on all the heroes that are currently active. At the end of the film, Kamala takes the tablet and tracks down Kate Bishop. To Kate's surprise, Kamala shows up at the Bishop residence. Kamala tells Kate about the events of the Marvels and how the young heroes need to team up. She asks Kate, "Did you know Scott Lang has a daughter?" setting up the Young Avengers. Okay, so I'm kind of on the fence about this one. Like, I like these characters. I actually like Kamala. I like Kate Bishop. I think they're cool. But unfortunately, I really don't like the new actress that played Cassie Lang in Quantumania. Like, at all. I thought she was horrible. And it's like, who else are the Young Avengers? Like, what? What? Like, Hulk's emo Portland haircut looking son, an aged up Billy Kaplan that we're yet to meet, Iron Lad, who's like a young version of Kang that we're yet to meet, young T'Challa, who frankly seems way too young to actually be superheroing. I guess here's my problem, right? Like, I do like some of these characters. Mostly I just like Kate Bishop and I like Kamala, but the problem is that in the comics, the Young Avengers had some really dope connections to like established awesome characters. Like the fact that Billy and Tommy both look like Magneto and they're essentially just young little Magnetos, and Magneto accepts that they're his grandchildren, like that's kind of dope. Iron Lad is essentially looking like a young Tony Stark with all these crazy advancements, and then when you find out he's Kang, like that's freaking mind-blowing and super cool. I'm just not sure how well the Young Avengers are going to connect with general audiences in the MCU, and it feels like we don't even have the Avengers proper actually established in the MCU right now. Like, who are even the Avengers? So I'm just not sure about this, man. Like, I don't know if fans are going to react well to this. Like, some hardcore Young Avengers fans will absolutely love this, but a lot of people will just be like, okay, so the Avengers kids are teaming up. Okay. But don't let that get you down, because the second post-credit scene is actually friggin' amazing, and it ties into some other things we've been hearing about Marvel's plan for the MCU. This is dope as hell. So the second post-credit scene, we don't have a very good description of it, but it's essentially Monica waking up in this other universe, and she's brought before her mother, who is Captain Marvel in that universe. Now, apparently this is going to be the same actress that played Captain Marvel in Multiverse of Madness, but it is apparently a different costume than what that version of Maria Rambeau was wearing. It's unclear whether or not this is the 838 universe or another universe that's very similar to 838. But I've heard some things that make me think this will actually be the 838, the very same character that we met in the Multiverse of Madness. And the reason that is so damn cool is because it directly ties into a lot of the rumors that are saying that the 838 universe is not done in the MCU and will actually be actively trying to seek revenge on Doctor Strange and the 616 universe. And in fact, we may see in an upcoming Marvel movie that universe actually launch a full-on assault on the 616, and it really feels similar to what happens at the end of Time Runs Out, which was the direct prelude into Secret Wars, the most recent Secret Wars in Marvel Comics. In that book, you saw the Ultimates universe and the 616 universe end up being the last two universes in the multiverse. You see, the Incursions were taking out all of these different universes all the way until it came down to two distinct universes. And that may well be what Marvel is going to be doing in the MCU lead up to Secret Wars. And on top of that, we've also heard that the Iron Man from 838 is absolutely alive, and that evil version of Iron Man from 838 is going to be a major player in what's coming from the multiversal saga and maybe even into Secret Wars. And the idea that they now have Monica Rambeau in their universe and perhaps have the ability to study her, to learn about 616, and maybe even use her powers to try to get back to 616. That is huge. That is a massive freaking deal. And I think it's really going to blow people away and get the imaginations going and get us speculating. It's just like the perfect thing that Marvel needs right now. And, you know, look, there were rumors that this was going down before, but I'm so glad that they're actually putting it into that post-credit scene. May end up being one of the most consequential post-credit scenes in the MCU's history. I'm absolutely here for it. I'm super hyped up. So all in all here, guys, it seems like The Marvels may end up being just a fun movie that actually sets up some crazy stuff for Marvel's future. And maybe if you're the type of person that really likes these characters, you will absolutely love this movie. But if you were like me and you don't necessarily love all these characters, there's still plenty of stuff to enjoy in this film, and a lot of things to talk about after it comes out, which is great. That's like the old MCU. That's the way it used to be. That's the best way to do this. And I'm really hopeful that this extra time that Kevin Feige is taking is going to be worth it. Because, I mean, I don't want the Marvels to underperform. I don't want there to be this big bomb. I don't want there to be all these, haterade videos talking about the MCU and shitting on Marvel. That's not what I want. So I'm hoping they can actually pull this all together and that it's kind of dope. Let me know your thoughts about these changes to the Marvel. What do you think of the post-credit scenes? Let me know. And if you have any questions about anything we talked about in this video or just anything nerdy in general, come on by the live streaming channel. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we could talk about it all live.